Welcome everyone. So nice to have you here. All of the star seeds, light workers, all of the twin flames, people from the ascending Dwapar Yuga who are on the inner work journey, and along with them, all of the volunteering vessels, the benevolent, supporting, friendly entities from various frequencies and dimensions. You all beautiful children of God, you all are present here. Thank you so much. And please mark your attendance for the collective reading and claim the I am present and gratitude energy, because that's the goal of inner work. Do mention your physical location, though we are all part of the same soul group. I am going to be doing this collective reading with the help of auto reading, writing, tarot cards. So let's get started. Let's jump right into it. The message today is about favoritism. You may or may not resonate with this completely. If you do, great, because that's the theme. About the child, about the children who were not the favorite ones while growing up. So I see some situations happening around you which keep reinforcing or establishing the idea that you're not that important, you're not a priority in your own relationship. Of course, it starts with relationships. It's always going to start with the relationship. Toxic relationship, toxic friendships, toxic business partners, toxic people, toxic people everywhere. So initially it looks like, maybe the people are at fault. And the next stage, when anybody is in the inner work, first they have to face the world outside. When the inner work starts kicking in and the kundalini starts rising more and more, because after getting all of the toxicity from the world, the heart breaks, usually people get into like a state where they don't want to talk to anyone. They're in their house, they're in their room, they are experiencing dark night of the soul. And while getting out of the dark night of the soul, they realize that they've actually started feeling the same way with their family members or anybody who's close to them. And family members, for those who are married, is obviously husband and children and anybody else, wife and more family members if it's a bigger family. And people who are not married, it's sibling, it's parents and anybody else, cousins or whosoever is around, okay? So then they see that whatever patterns they were facing in their relationship, now they're facing the same patterns in their family life. They feel like, was this always there but I never knew? So when you go deeper and deeper into this journey is not a short-term thing, it's not a crash course. It takes time, it takes a while, and with time it also starts dawning upon the people who are in this journey why it takes time, because the lessons are so precious and beautiful, like divine timing, like letting go, letting God, surrender, getting out of the runner-chaser dynamic, not chasing, learning how to not chase, and learning to surrender and accept is so important. Today I was watching a TV show. It was a comedy show. Usually I don't watch TV or anything, but I was with my family members. We were chilling out. It happened right before the collective reading, before I could get time to be all by myself and to get my sacred space and energy flowing in, and I was ready. So just before all of that happened, maybe 1 hour gap, you would say 1.5 hour gap. The interesting part was that there was a comedy show going on. Probably one of the few TV shows left now that you can watch with your family. Otherwise, so many things you cannot even watch with the family. Before we were watching this, one of my sister had put on Friends. And there were so many kissing scenes and making out scenes that I was thinking, oh my God, I hope no elder comes in. Or I hope nobody else comes in to watch this. So there was a time, I still remember, it was so normal for me to watch Friends or to watch 2.5 Men or to watch all of these comedy shows. And I would find it funny. I would find a lot of things funny. And now I just see there's so much lust. There's so much making out with random people. There's so much of casual relationship, hookups going on, and trying to normalize, doing it with many people. So many relationships are being shown of one person and there is no healing, there is no learning, there's no inner work going on. Nobody is asking, hey, why have I been into 25 relationships already? Why? But there's always a new partner coming in, either with Joey or with this or with that. The only favorite character of mine was Matthew Perry's character, Chandler Bing's character, and he was the one who recently passed away. But nevertheless, I was watching the TV show, and my observation was that there was a comedian. They were talking about manifesting, and they were making fun of manifesting. They were talking about the character was saying, hey, you know what, guys, these days I've been manifesting a lot. So all the other characters were like, hey, what you manifesting? Or they were curious. So this word manifestation has actually made it through somehow into the mainstream media also. Or I think a lot of people in the mainstream media, the actors, celebrities, sports stars, this, that, talk about manifestation and yeah, you know, I manifested this or I manifested that. But nobody knows the real meaning of manifestation. But it was really funny and it was really clever how this comedian used this manifesting term, and he said that, you know, I've been manifesting a lot these days. Now that I want a wife for myself, I've kept a woman's slipper outside my door just to remind me that there's a woman inside. Or I imagine that she's in the house with me, she's cooking with me. Or I imagine she's doing this and she's doing that. And it was sounding so hilarious because it was sounding so illogical. So I had also shared a video recently where I spoke about how you know now that what is real law of attraction, how to really get this working, because no one can actually manifest anything by applying this methodology that people teach. You can only work on yourself, you can only change your vibration, your own vibration. You cannot consciously say that I want this and let me manifest. There's a way of doing that, but that way is our own selves. We need to change first. If we don't work on ourselves, if we don't change, if we don't do inner work, I don't think we can manifest anything. A lot of people in the ascension journey face this whole dynamic or scene where there are favorite children in the house and there are the neglected children in the same house, okay? And the favorite children of the family usually don't know the plight of the neglected child, because of course they're favorites, so they've been loved, they're always appreciated, they're always acknowledged, they're always told you're so nice, you're so responsible, you're so well mannered and blah blah blah, you're so successful. And different people feel differently about love and relationships, let me tell you that also. There are times when children cannot talk to their parents because they don't want to hurt their parents. The problem with a lot of kids who are in the inner work ascension journey while learning all these things is because they are in ascension journey since childhood. So they are very much interested organically, naturally, without anyone's help, into God, into spirituality, into doing whatever it takes to be the right person, you know, the correct one. And when I say right, it's not that right, it means be the moral child, you know. And at such a young age to be so moralistic, usually kids don't have that. I'm being shown that you felt many times that you're losing your grip on things, you're not reaching your goals, and you were not seeing the things till the finish line. You were not able to see through the end of those things or projects. And lots of times, because you wanted to be the loved child, the favorite child of the household, you were doing a lot of decisions, you were making a lot of decisions, some were hasty, your judgment was not correct, your discernment was not in place, only because you wanted to get the affection, the attention on you, which you could see as a child that it was going on someone else. And as I said, every child has different needs. Some children just want to be heard. Some children just want to share. Or some people just want to be accepted for who they are, being the gender or be it the size, the frame, body size, or it could be anything, like them being weak. When parents look after children who come across as weaker, if there are like 5 siblings and 3 are weak, they look weak. Weak in what? Maybe studies. And studies don't define us. The marks don't define us. The grades don't define us. I know kids who never got good grades in school or college, but they're doing really well in life right now. Yes, there are so many cases like that. So it's about the love you give to the child, the genuine love. It's not the worldly love, it's not the materialistic love. Now, as I said, some kids are very materialistic. Some kids are materialistic because of their karma. They're not on inner work journey. So they genuinely want toys and this and that, and no matter how much you try to pacify them, they don't get pacified. But on the other hand, the child who's on inner work mode, they are very understanding. So what do they like? They like to be trusted, they like to be understood, they like to be heard, they like to be acknowledged, and sometimes they have like big imagination, they have big thoughts, they are very creative. They want all of that coming to them too. Now, this also includes, very interesting point I'll say over here, this also includes being accepted, getting accepted for the nature related activities kids do. If there are two kids, A and B, A is very disciplined, organized, the wardrobe is organized, the uniform is never dirty, the lunch box is always kept nicely, the timetable is being set, the books are in place. That's one child, and that child becomes the mother's favorite or the father's favorite because the child is not making them do a lot of work. Okay, the child is like uniform, they're managing on their own, shoes they're managing on their own, everything they're doing on their own. Whereas the other child likes to play a lot, likes to get dirty in the soil, likes to stay with friends or climb the trees, be with animals. And the parents go crazy when they see all of this happening. Like, look at this kid. The kid is making everything dirty. Now we need to wash their clothes like 3 times in the same day. Or they will tell me that we have to change their clothes all the time. And it's so frustrating. Or this kid is so full of energy. They have so much energy in them. The child is sometimes very simple. The child is not asking for anything. The child is not materialistic at all. Or the child goes up to guests or people or relatives and speaks a lot of truth. For example, maybe the parents have the habit of showing off or exaggerating about their wealth or something else, their stories. The child knows the truth, and the parents don't like the child's honesty and, sharing everything in front of guests or relatives or people, telling them, okay, how many problems we have in the house. So some of the parents, they cannot accept such a child. They may be loving the child a lot, they may be caring for the child a lot, and honestly this doesn't mean the parents don't love the child or the parents don't care for the child, they don't want the child. It's just that a lot of things which are 5D, which come from 5D reality, the parents cannot accept that about the child. And this is precisely the point that I want to make. So the parents are accepting of the child when the child is acting in 3D ways. Whatever that suits 3D world, whatever that suits the 3D reality, parents are okay with it. They're happy with it. They're very proud of the child for all of those 3D based achievements, and there is appreciation, there is acknowledgement. You didn't give your food to the street dog, you ate it yourself, or you didn't share it with someone, you ate it yourself. Child is saying, I want to share my food with someone because the other child or the animal or whosoever they want to give it to is hungry. Now the parents are like, you cannot do this every day, or you should not be doing it. You were supposed to eat your lunch on time and you are only supposed to eat it, nobody else. But the child says, why can't I share my food? Now this is a 5D thing, sharing, loving, distributing what you have. And not everyone can do this, or being honest for that matter, or being creative. Children play in the sun, they play in the soil with adult supervision, of course. Now sometimes adults don't like to be constantly present with the child, in certain activities because they have to work, they have to make money, which is so important. The parents are stuck in materialistic reality. So all of these 5D things that the child wants to do or child is naturally inclined to do, the parents are not okay with it. So this is not really about the parents not being loving or accepting. This is about something else. They cannot deal with it because they are so scared for the child's future. They feel, if my child is going to behave like this, my child is never going to do anything. My child is not going to learn the skills to survive in this cutthroat competition based world. How do we deal with this child? So let's actually not appreciate, not encourage, not acknowledge those parts of the child. So now if in the family, children also have sibling rivalry, all children want to be favorites of their parents. So the child who is more of 3D karma, 3D reality, 3D foundation they have. Some things you can learn from parents, but something we are born with. So for everything we cannot blame our parents also. So this is not about good versus bad. This is not about parents also. This is about a child who has a certain way of thinking, and that way of thinking is not appreciated. All children are going to grow up into adults, and as a soul they are obviously mature. It's the soul that is born as a child first, then the same child grows into an adult, and the adult grows into an old man or an old woman, then they die, and again the same person who's an old man becomes a baby. So actually little kids are sometimes grown up people, okay, but they are born in a certain template for a reason, because they want to learn something, they want to shift something, they have karma to dissolve. So I am being shown that now the situation and setup is about the neglected child. I am channeling for the neglected child today, but the neglected child has probably some favorite children around them. Now these favorite children get the parents' love and appreciation or respect in today's time and world. Today's time and age is because they are materialistically sound, or they have a materialistic mindset, or they are a lot into buying gifts and presents and things and money and cash, and maybe they are more established in their job or business. I'm not saying people should be irresponsible. People should be responsible. Charity begins at home. But after the charity is done and after there are materialistic luxuries, people usually want more. People don't want to stop over there. So you get one car first, then it's like get another car, then it's about get the bigger one, get the better one, get the latest model. We should have 1, 2, 3, 4 cars if there are 4 people in the house. These are examples I'm giving you and from real life, real world. In the cities, it's really horrible. And big cities, metros, there's way too much competition. You go to the villages, you go to small towns, life is still okay. But of course, for those people, they're still miserable because they're comparing themselves with the city people, the big people, the fancy people, the ones who've got jobs and businesses and things like that. Children also depend a lot on mother. So here I do sense some mother energy. Let me fully explain the mother energy. Now the mother who is more chilled out, or who's more relaxed, or who's more easy, or who's more happy with the materialistic kid, then she will constantly, if she does that, it's really wrong, she constantly puts down the non-materialistic child, the spiritual child, no matter how gifted, no matter how amazing the other child is. There is a competition which is raised by the mother only. If the mother keeps praising one child in front of all the relatives and guests, and even other siblings are sitting and keep saying, oh, this child is like this child always created problem for me in my younger days, or even when they were growing up, this child was the black sheep of the family, this child was the irresponsible one, this child was the menace, this child was the mischievous one. Picking up the same stories, the same topics over and over again. This is also a type of hypnosis. When you keep repeating, that's programming. The same stories, the same narrations, the same talks, the same thoughts, and you put it onto other people, you project it onto other people. Now, those who are listening very keenly, they will make a perception about this child or this person who's probably an adult now. Why the happy-go-lucky child is not loved so much? Because the super chilled out, happy-go-lucky, jovial child is giving insecurities to people, to family members. Either they are getting scared of their future, or they don't like the rebelliousness, or they don't like the child asking really deep questions, really big questions for their age. Or maybe there comes a phase in the child's life where they don't get any real love, or everything is superficial. They start going out with other people, they start going for parties, and they start getting into relationships which are toxic, as I said in the beginning. Now the child is a bigger black sheep, because now all of their decisions are bad. Now in inner work world also, I have seen that most of these black sheeps don't have relationships, or they have very poor relationship patterns. And then comes a point in their life where they say, I don't want to get into any relationship, I don't want to get married, I don't want to have kids. and they are hermits, or they're single, or they're living by their own rules. Now the family has more reasons to be frustrated, upset, angry. Of course, there are people who influence us as well, but I always say let's not blame anybody, because whatever wrong that has happened to us eventually turns into right for us. Here also in this collective, the same thing is happening. I am being shown the neglected child, the genuinely neglected child. Okay, genuinely neglected child, an honest, loving, beautiful, happy child who's forced to feel bad, who's forced to become something else, to become more materialistic, to become more 3D. They don't want to be 3D, they don't want to be worldly, they don't want to be sansaric, but everybody is kind of pushing them to the corner, looking for their faults, looking for their problems. Why? Because they're different. They don't have the same personality as other people, as everybody else. So it's literally seeing lots of parents, lots of teachers, lots of relationships, patterns, dynamics, sexualities also in some cases, desires, so many desires. People have so many dreams and desires. In that, being able to find the truly, genuinely neglected child is actually finding gold, because the truly neglected child eventually learns to find their own place in life. You know why? Because these truly neglected children actually are really taken care of by the spirit guides, by the invisible supreme power. They genuinely have something happening around them. There's a supernatural, a divine energy. So whosoever's energy I'm picking on today has this divine energy around them, a divine protection. Okay, so they were neglected, they were in really bad spaces, they were sort of boycotted, they were sort of kicked out, maybe in some cases. They were probably not given the type of love, affection, attention that the other kids were getting. Why? Because you are so different, and we cannot tolerate this type of energy or this type of difference and this type of behavior. And then they are pitted against the responsible child, the serious child, the child who is nurturing in their own ways. In the worldly ways, they are very nurturing, they're caring, they're organized, they're managing everything well. Maybe they get a better job, maybe they get a better partner, so everybody in the house is looking at this, this child who's like, yeah, you got a good relationship going, you are attracting the right things in life. Whereas the neglected child is just always into some or the other messy situation, messy relationship. Till the time they do not understand where it's coming from, this will happen. So again, going back to one of the points that I shared in the beginning, and now you can connect all the dots. They're seen like there's something wrong with this person. There's something wrong with their hobbies. There's something wrong with what they want in life. Their desires are so different. Sometimes these neglected children are also very talented. Now there are two types of talented people also. One, they are talented, they are skilled, they have gifts. Like they can dance better, sing very well, or they look very good, and then they want to make it big using those bodily things like the dancing skills, the singing skills. I'm just giving an example, even looks for that matter. Some people actually climb the ladder faster because they're very good looking and they know how to, seduce people around, and maybe they can take the bait, maybe they can do some shortcuts. But this honest, neglected child will not do that. And I'm not saying the one who they are being pitted against is also a bad person. No, I'm just saying that there is an energy which the neglected child carries. And it happens because this child has to find their own way. Soon they realize that their addictions are all stupid addictions. Soon they realize their codependencies. Soon they realize that they were just hanging out with a lot of lame people just because they wanted to fit in. Then they realize that just because you're fitting in somewhere doesn't mean you belong to that place. These are all lessons that come one by one, step by step. So not only you learn to identify the right opportunities for you, the right way to grow, the right way to succeed, but you also create a self-discipline. Automatically this self-discipline happens. It's like a lot of people have told me in their sessions, personal sessions, that I naturally quit non-vegetarian food. Like I cannot tolerate it. I cannot eat it. Whereas I used to eat so much. Naturally they would quit smoking or drinking. Naturally they will be out of casual relationship or any stupid relationship which is not giving them any self-respect. Some of the people could have been even in a physically abusive relationship, or maybe they were in an addiction which was very, very bad for them. But this self-discipline and managing their wealth, managing their health, managing their character, managing so many things, living wisely, it starts happening on its own. Now there's one more thing I want to share with you guys. In some people's cases, they never get to know about the whole neglected child dynamic till the time they don't get into the dark night soul phase, the long dark night that happens with a lot of people after Kundalini rises. Because before that, they were doing so well materialistically, they were so amazing, they were so successful that everybody liked them, everybody loved them, everybody adored them, everybody was inspired by them. Anyone, siblings, parents, teachers, neighbors, relatives, friends, partners, wherever they would go, bosses. It's like this guy or this girl, this dude, this bloke, this lady, they know their stuff. But suddenly Kundalini rises, suddenly they start ascending in towards 5D, and they cannot do anything, they cannot work the same way, they cannot hang out in the same places, their relationships become really scary. Before that, even in the 3D, their relationships are so good. They'll pick up the best person, the good looking guys, the rich guys or girls, depending on the gender. This is not a gender specific reading, by the way. And whosoever meets them in person, whosoever knows them is like, this is the person who's gonna become really big one day, okay? And what is big? Billionaire, multi-millionaire, this, that, all the fancy things, money related things. Everybody is looking up to that person and everybody knows this person is in the spotlight. And then things change, things crash, there's a tower moment. Everything is like, no, I don't want this, I don't want that. Oh, this is so superficial. Oh, this is so artificial. This can't be real. This is not me. I cannot, connect with these things. I cannot relate with these things. I don't feel connection with any of these things. So they start changing. And when they start changing, everybody who used to love them, everybody used to like them, everybody used to follow them, everybody used to get inspired by them, they all start looking at this person like, is everything okay with you? Are you all right? First, it's, are you all right? First, it's like, yeah, let's be patient, maybe it's their bad time, because this person never had any bad time. They were so good, they were so amazing, they were so gung-ho that even if they would fall, they will get up in a week, they'll get up in 3 days. They'll have so many friends, they socialize, they party, they do this, they do that, they wear the best clothes, they're looking amazing, super, There comes a time the same person cannot buy a single brand. There comes a time the same person cannot sleep on the bed, says, I want to sleep on the floor only. I prefer to be on the floor. They cannot live in a high-rise building, or they cannot eat chemical-based food, or some crazy things they do, some strange things they do, which obviously is crazy in the eyes of normal people. Normal as in the normies, the 3D people. Now, this is also the time they go through the neglected child syndrome. They may not have gone through it full-fledgedly in their childhood, but here is the time when they go through it. And this is when they see all relationships are fickle, all relationships are superficial. All relationships require you to be in a certain stable position in terms of social status. This is when they start detaching. Detach, cut the cord. I don't want this. Okay, fine. I'm okay with myself. Okay, I want to be a minimalist. Okay, I want to save animals. Like, animal love is very big, because animals are number one, they don't have doership, which is why a lot of people on inner work journey have such a strong bond with animals. Such a strong bond. Animals don't have any doership. Whereas the ego is all about, I'm doing this. I'm the one. I, me, myself. An ascensioner is not very drawn to such people who have big ego, who are always saying, I'm like so amazing, I'm this, I'm that, blah, 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 They like animals, they like nature, they like the birds, they like the kids, they like the, the more aware people. They like to study wise people, or they want to hang out with wise people. Satsangati or good company, the right company, the moral company is also very big. So there is a time frame. In that time frame, they go through the neglected child or the black sheep of the family phase. Even for them, it's a tower moment. Even for them, it's a soul shock, which they somehow manage. For some, it's ongoing thing. So when they grow up, or when they reach inner work, or when they start changing, actually, they realize that maybe I was like this because my family didn't understand me. Okay, my people didn't understand me. And they start taking stand for themselves. They start speaking for themselves. They start kind of rebelling in a different way, in a more, realistic way. Like they prioritize themselves. They say that, I cannot be treated this way. I don't accept it. Not anymore. Because when they do inner work, when they're ascending, they meet people like them. They see people like them and they get very, very enamored by that. They go like, oh my God, all my life I was told that I am so stupid, I'm so dumb, I'm not good enough, I'll never have a good future. But there are 10 more people like me. And they're doing their things and they're loving their life. Okay, maybe they are not, rich like the megalomaniacs, or rich like the stupid billionaires. A lot of them are stupid billionaires, I would say. They have no idea. It's so funny I'm saying this. They have no idea what actually makes them happy. I mean, they have so much potential as a human being because they've learned how to create the resources. They've learned how to get this, get that, buy this, buy that. But this whole word, the term billionaire, I mean, it's a very confusing, billionaire, millionaire, this, that. It's very confusing. We just need resources, and that's an energy. That's it. But hoarding to resources, not giving it to anyone, not sharing with anyone the money you earn, the things you buy, just store, and then you have all of this, and then one fine day you're dead. Such a short period of time. So instead of becoming a billionaire in terms of money, person should be a billionaire, a millionaire, a trillionaire, or whatever terms you want to give it, in the spiritual world. Like spiritually you should be that rich. Spiritually you should have a lot of wealth. You should be so rich spiritually that God should be looking forward to what you do. God is always with you. I'm not the doer, God is the doer. That type of mentality. Everything I do, I surrender to source. What is a spiritual practice? What is karma yoga? Karma yoga in simple words means that you live your life. Like action is happening all the time, even when we are sleeping. And my master explains this in a beautiful way. And I know there are all genuine teachers. They will explain you this in a simple way, in this way only, that all of your bodily functions are happening. My master gave all these examples that your heartbeat is always working out. That's why you breathe, that's why you live. Your hair is always growing. Are you forcing your hair to grow? Are you manifesting hair growth? Are you saying, yes, I manifest my hair to grow 5 inches more? I mean, they will grow 5 inches. If you're not cutting them, they will grow. You don't say to your nails, okay, grow, stop growing, right? And same way, we create a lot of dirt also, even from the body. We have to release. We have to remove all of the dirt, the internal dirt that comes out from the digestion process, from any other bodily function that is. We need to remember that action is always happening. You wake up, you walk, you run, you sleep, you lie down, you eat, you go to work. Everything is karma. And the neglected child here learns somehow, because they got neglected, because they are in solitude, because they are not loved by anyone. They have so much time that they start looking at themselves like, okay, what are my flaws? What do I need to do? Okay, this is the mirror on the wall. How they say, who's the fairest of them all? Instead of that, you can say, mirror on the wall, show me all the flaws I've got. Show me what I need to work on. Take me to the true master. Take me to someone who's going to help me. Or whatever it is that you want to do. But in the genuine sense, in the real sense, not the fake, not the superficial sense. We need to make the one who's feeling like the outsider an insider. Right? Now, people cannot do that to you. If you're an outsider, you feel like an outsider within your family group, with your friends, with your partner, with anybody and any place, time and situation. In any shape or form, you feel that you are an outsider. You're not included. Nobody cares about you. Then you only have to change it and you only have to work on it. And mostly, the divinely gifted, the divinely blessed, neglected child is able to do that. As per this collective reading, that child is able to do that. Maybe there will be some other channeling or reading where we'll talk about the favorite child also, how the favorite child figures it out. Okay, but I think I have actually covered it, because if the favorite child falls into ascension journey or Kundalini rising, the favorite responsible loved child falls into the ascension journey mode, then they are definitely bound to become the neglected child, because no one's gonna like the change in them at first. So it takes time, it takes inner work, it takes acceptance, it takes a whole lot of epiphanies to happen, a whole lot of realizations to happen, whole lot of profound emotions, whole lot of tears, pain, crying, weeping, churning, shedding of your skin. Everything happens, and then they understand what's happening, how to change, how to shift. The favorite children will not understand. Usually the favorite child will not understand how the neglected child feels. The one who was kept at a distance, okay, and they were made to struggle alone, they will understand the problems that such other people face. But the one who got everything with love, with pampering on the plateau, they will not. So sometimes these children only, the favorite ones only, basically become the opposition, the enemies, or the ones who are fighting with each other. Because when this one is changing, even they can see the change, and they are kind of scared and insecure, like this one is becoming better than me. So they are like, why are you doing this, why are you doing that? Polar emotions. And slowly and gradually you learn to realize what is your true wealth, okay, what is your real wealth. So what I am being shown is to do with the throat chakra, okay, and I am being shown that the neglected child also needs to keep some things to themselves. Like sometimes they just need to hold back, they just need to wait, they just need to peacefully, quietly wait, so that the feeling of being neglected, the feeling of not being accepted, the feeling of not being loved, which you feel is actually coming from your family, but it's not, it's coming from the outside world, because your family is also programmed by other people, by the world. But when you become rock solid, when the neglected child becomes rock solid, when they develop strength, the tarot card strength, they learn to master their fears, they learn to master their anxieties, they learn to be courageous, they learn to be daring, they learn to be bold, and they can tell their people, hey, you know what, this is an illusion, you're living a big illusion, get out of the illusion and see how happy you can be, face your fears, cross over, don't cry, don't be miserable, look, I'm not miserable anymore, look, I'm not suffering, you were so unhappy with me, but I'm still happy. You thought that I'll, do this, that, something bad, something negative. Look, I did not. And even if I did, it's okay. I learned from it. This collective reading is also to validate or confirm that the neglected child actually gains a lot from 3D. From 3D parents, from 3D siblings, from 3D world. Everything they gain from there. And they learn about karma yoga from there. They learn about themselves from there. And then while doing so, while learning from them, they become a person who can inspire others. Because in the 3D, everybody is scared. In the 3D, people have so much stress. In 3D, people have so many fears, diseases, anxieties, mental problems. Doesn't mean I'm saying all of them are mental, like crazy mental, but it's normal to have mental problems in today's world. People are so attached with the things they have actually no reason to be attached with. So the neglected, divinely gifted child needs the stimuli from 3D, and there comes a time in their life where they are so thankful, so grateful. They don't see the 3D, 5D divide anymore. There is no polarity. There is no duality. It's duality to singularity. When I wrote this song, Duality to Singularity, I don't think anyone used to talk about the concept of non-duality or anything. When I wrote the book In the Name of Love, about true love, about ultimate soulmate, about twin flame connection, in 2011 I had published that book. There was no talk about twin flames or star seeds, not to this level. There were very few people talking about it. I mean, this concept, this word was not even there. Nobody used to talk about it or use it. Similarly, in 2016, I wrote the song Duality to Singularity. How did I write it? Because the stimuli was being given to me from 3D. It was the 3D world. Everything was coming from 3D. So all those people who are resonating with the things that I'm talking about today in this collective reading, if you have not reached to that point, but you feel like you will, then this is the validation that you will for sure. Because I see in front of me 8 of Swords, and 8 of Swords, the energy, when you don't get it right or when you're stuck, you feel like you're trapped somewhere. But you are the one who's keeping yourself in that particular situation or more than one situations, any number of situations. And you are trapped in that situation or in that place or in whatever relationship, situationship. Nowadays we have situationships. There was a time when people had relationships, now they have situationships. Benching is going on. Otherwise, career related problem. Anything, even health, even looks. You feel that you cannot get out of it. For some people, health is a big thing nowadays. I've noticed. For some people, they ask me a lot, how do I fix my health? How do I fix my digestion related problems? How do I fix my weight? Weight is a big thing. So you are stuck in that situation because you are in negative thinking patterns. You are focusing on what's not there. You're focusing on lacks and limitations. And the blindfold and the the blindfolds and the hand ties, it's not a metal chain or anything that you're tied to. It's just a cloth material which is very loose. It's not even that tight. As per the picture, when we look at the picture, even the path is not blocked. You can walk away any time from this place. The signs I see, air sign. If you're an air sign, you'll probably connect with it. This is also connected with your intuition. So third eye, Ajna Chakra. I sense negative thinking, negative thoughts, self-imposed restrictions, victim mentality. What keeps us trapped in self-limiting beliefs? What keeps us stuck is the unnecessary inner critic voice that is blabbering constantly and telling you not good enough, you're not good enough. So once you release these negative thoughts, you will be relieving yourself from a lot of tension, anxiety, pressure, depression. You'll not be scared anymore. You'll be able to face your fears because you know there's nothing wrong happening on the other side. I mean, even if something wrong happens, it's okay. What's the big deal? So 3D is going to give you that stimuli or stimulus. 3D is going to show you the path. The karma yoga, the karma, the work that you're doing, the inner work, that will show you the path. You have to blend in. You have to blend in. You have to learn to conquer your worries, your fears, and believe in yourself. And when you're able to do that, I'm being shown fire signs, I'm being shown solar plexus energy, I'm being shown also Leo energy, I'm being shown strength, courage, influence. Yes, influence. Influence is the word that I've been looking for all this while. So the neglected child thought that they're a bad influence on others because that's what they were told. You're a bad influence on others. But then they become the correct influence, the right influence. And that's when everything shifts. So yes, this is where I'm going to close the channeling. You can get my book In the Name of Love, A Journey of Finding Your Ultimate Soulmate on Amazon Kindle only because that's where you get the latest edited version. For personal sessions, for therapies, all of the information is in the description box. I will see you in the next video. One love, peace out, and victory to Ram.